guys, and welcome back to the Kit and Krysta podcast.
Happy New Year!
Yay! This is our first episode of 2023.
That's
so
right.
Happy New Year, everyone. So glad to be back.
It's a new year, same us.
Same us.
Yeah.
We're not actually like super big New Year's people. Both of us
no.
aren't. So we didn't really have like too many resolution-y things.
All the same foibles, problems, shortcomings.
Yeah.
They're coming along with us.
Let's just be real and take it all with us. But this year, we're very excited about all the cool things that we have coming up for all of this.
Got some new stuff coming, which we're going to share with you.
Yeah.
But today, this episode is all about our big predictions for 2023.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing 23 predictions for 2023. I actually think we might have more than 23.
I think so too, but we don't know.
Just in case we have some overlap. We have extras.
Yeah, we have some extra predictions.
But some of these, I think, I feel very good about all of these. I think all of these are going to happen.
You think you're going to checklist every single prediction?
At the end of the year, we're going to go back and look at how we did.
Okay.
We're going to give ourselves a letter grade.
Is it an A? Is it an F?
God forbid you get a B minus.
Well, my mom won't be happy about that. She's
I'll be sure to give her your report card. Yes.
Oh boy, that's not going to go well if we get a bad grade. But I do feel pretty confident about mine as well.
Oh.
And we do have some from our wonderful Patreon community that we're sharing as well.
Yes.
I saw that you posted that, and then there's a flurry of predictions from our community, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Patreon.
Oh.
Everything that we do here is made possible by our wonderful Patreon family. Thank you so much.
We love them.
We do. Thank you so much for all your support through 2022. We were just saying right before we started recording that there's been a flurry of Patreon activity.
A lot of action.
As we rolled into the new year. So that's very exciting for us. Obviously, everything that we do here is quite literally made possible by our Patreon. So if you guys don't support us, we can't keep doing this, which would not be great for any of us. So please join us.
New Year's a great time to sign up. I signed up for a couple new Patreons myself.
Exactly.
Perfect time to do it.
Yeah. We are at patreon.com/Kit and Krysta. There are many different tiers to choose from, and all of our wonderful Patreon subscribers get tons of exclusive perks. It's very fun. Please join us.
Yeah.
All right. We are excited about what we have coming up this week. Why are you looking at me?
I don't know where you're going with this.
Why are you blinking at me?
You're sort of. I want to go back because we finished the last episode on a cliffhanger.
Huh?
So you are freshly back from a wonderful Hawaiian vacation.
Oh, okay.
And you always said at the end of a vacation you cry because you are so sad that the vacation is over and you're coming back to just the dark reality of podcasting with me.
Not bad at all this time.
It is. The weather is terrible. That's
great.
A downer.
Yeah.
Did you cry? We need to know.
I did not cry.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, before it's just because I didn't want to go back to work. I just really had a misery about I can't write another email to Japan. But this time when I came back, I felt really great. This time I was feeling very refreshed from the vacation.
Great.
And I was there through New Year's, and when I was leaving I left yesterday, January 1st, it felt very much like I'm so excited to come back and start all the cool things that we have been planning for 2023. Mm-hmm. So I felt great, actually.
Good.
I went for a nice swim in the ocean right before I left, and it was a great way to start the new year. And I didn't feel sad at all.
Okay.
So I think I solved my problem by quitting my job.
The problem wasn't me.
The problem wasn't you.
That's all I need to say. I was there before and I'm here now.
You're not the anti-hero, in the words of Taylor Swift. It was me all along.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so the problem was just quitting my job. Or the solution was to quit my job.
Good. Problem solved. You can give me my macadamia nuts later. On the channel, if you've missed it.
That's where I was going.
We currently have a wonderful full store tour of the Universal Studios Super Nintendo World Store. We're going to be back there soon.
That's right.
For the opening. But if you just can't wait, you can watch this.
Yes, and we were so impressed by...
The store's amazing.
Going to that store. We were there when we were in LA for the TGAs.
Yep.
And we had all this extra footage of us in the store that we weren't able to put in that TGA vlog. And so we just made it its own standalone video just because the park is opening in mere months.
So soon. Is it even months? It's weeks.
Wait, no.
Mere weeks.
It's not mere weeks.
It is. It's extremely close.
It's February 17th.
That's weeks. We're in January now. It's not months. It's less than 2 months.
Wow.
It's a month and change. Anyhow.
That's exciting stuff.
We shared that because we took a week off from doing Super Kit and Krysta 64, but we're back.
Yes, we are back.
We are going back to Animal Crossing,
I
New
know.
Horizons, which I've strangely seen. Maybe it's just because it was New Year and people were doing New Year in the game.
That's true.
I've seen a lot of people talking
Yeah.
about this game, so it feels like good timing.
Good timing, yeah, for sure. We have not been back to our islands, I want to say, probably in a year and a half.
Since the DLC came out.
Yeah.
I did that for a while,
Right.
and I haven't really touched it since.
Yeah.
So,
and even with the DLC, you were doing like the home.
yeah, you were kind of
home
away
stuff.
from your main island.
Right. So I really haven't been acquainted or just gone back to my island in some significant amount of time.
I do see us doing more of these videos in the future, but we need to ease ourselves in.
Yeah.
So we're doing a video where we see how well we remember each other's Animal Crossing islands.
I know.
I racked my brain and I wrote down about 5 things that I think I remember about your island. We're going to visit both and see
like how right we are.
But also just get reacquainted with it all.
That's true. And these Animal Crossing islands, they were such a big part of our lives, especially during the pandemic when we just didn't have any other escape. And it's so weird that like in that moment in time, it just was like this very like, it was a big deal. Like for me at least, it was like a huge like, place of comfort for me. And you celebrated your birthday that year in Animal Crossing, like many other people did. And it's weird that it's sort of, it was so significant, and now we haven't gone back for a while. So I'm kind of curious to see what my own reaction. Will I cry? I don't know.
Oh boy.
Didn't cry when I left Hawaii. Maybe I'll cry when I get into Animal Crossing. Who knows?
When you see some weeds, you might cry.
Well, your island.
What? They're beautiful. Cockroaches, weeds, whatever it may be.
Is the snow still there in January on the island?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
It's snowy right now. The weather is not great on the island either. Okay. Well, anyways, we're gonna see how much we remember and see if we have some sort of emotional response when we get to these islands that were like a big deal back in 2022 or 2020, I should say.
Excuse me, I'm on week 8 of fighting the same cold, which is awesome.
Is it the same one, or did you get a different one?
I feel like it's
along
the same one because it always involves my voice, and it's like the same thing over and over, and I feel like I'm getting better, and then it comes right back.
Oh,
so,
man.
Excuse me is all I have to say.
It's okay. You seem fun otherwise, like
it's annoying.
beyond the
malaise.
cough.
Yeah.
Right. Anyways, we teased a little bit at the top here about some of the fun, exciting changes and new things that we want to do this year. So let's go through them.
Yeah, at the end of the year, we sat down and talked about all the big things we want to do, some changes we want to make, and we want to take you all through what it all is.
Yeah, and of course, this is all based on, things that we seen that you guys loved in 2022. So we want to carry some of those things forward, but we also want to do some sort of some kind of ambitious things as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. First big thing is it has been several years since we have been to Japan, and we really want to go back. We want to make that a big goal for us, to go back and just make all sorts of content around there. Content we couldn't make before at Nintendo, and content we've just had on our minds for years now.
Yeah, exactly. I think we were always grateful to have opportunities when we were at Nintendo to travel to Japan, but it was very limiting, what we could and couldn't do.
Yeah.
You guys might have, seen some of those Japan videos and noticed that. There's a lot of things, like even visiting
We were told to famously do not show a Japanese restaurant because a single Japanese restaurant cannot capture the full scope of Japanese cuisine.
That's right. We were also told to never visit the original location of the Nintendo headquarters.
Yeah.
Because the neighborhood is so dangerous that we might get killed.
Somehow I doubt that. But
that's. Do they know that we live in San Francisco and literally I almost get killed daily, so it's fine. But there was a lot of very interesting restrictions. Obviously, we did have also great access, but we also had a lot of restrictions on stuff that we wanted to do but could never. And now there's so many things in Japan that that we want to show you guys. Not only from our own experiences going there. But also new things that we haven't seen before. Like I really want to go to Osaka, for example. maybe we can visit Platinum Games or something, something else, like other developers.
Right, right.
So there's other areas of Japan that we're excited to explore and share with you guys.
That is a big ticket item for us, though. So we are doing a Patreon goal.
Yes.
Which, drum roll please, is live now on patreon.com/KittenKrysta. Yes. You can contribute for us to be able to do this Japan trip. Thank you for your contributions.
Yeah.
Once again, we cannot do it without you.
Yeah, exactly. So go there. I'll put the link again here so you guys can go to patreon.com/KittenKrysta to help us get to this great goal of going back to Japan and making, again, all sorts of content around all of that, which is going to be really fun for us.
Yeah.
And for you, hopefully.
Yeah, especially for you. Next couple are around Super Kitten Krysta 64, and I think we've been very open over the past year about some of the, it started as the Kitten Krysta show, we renamed that. We've noted that there's some types of videos that do well, some that don't.
Yep.
Oftentimes, in surprising fashion to us, I think going into this, that would not have been our prediction, that a Nintendo Minute style show would have those sorts of ups and downs.
Right.
But we did identify one type of video that seems to always be very popular, have a very high approval rating, lots of great feedback from all of you, and that's vlogs.
Yeah.
So we are going to be giving Super Kitten Krysta 64 more of a vlog focus this year.
Yeah, we're excited about that because we're lucky that we actually love vlogs. We love to make vlogs, and these are some of our favorite types of videos to make for Super Kitten Krysta 64. So we're really, really happy that this happens to be the style of video that you guys love as well. So I think we want to pour just more energy into making that style of video, making more of those for you guys. Those do take a bit more time than some of the stuff that we would film like in the studio, like more straightforward gameplay videos. So we want to give ourselves like a bit of breathing room to really create really high quality and fun vlog content for you, where we're like going places and doing things and showing you guys stuff, and not only gaming things, but like other things too. I think a lot of people have said like we love to see the food stuff, we love to see the travel side of it. So that's an area that we love to do more of as well.
It doesn't mean we're getting on a plane every week either. There's a lot of stuff that we can do around here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really fun and interesting as well that we've got written down.
Yes.
Yeah. So you mentioned kind of, with vlogs comes sort of a longer timeline to get it done. So we are going to be shifting the schedule for Super Kitten Krysta 64 kind of around the second half of last year. It was weekly.
Right.
And I think we found that to be, at times, a bit of a crunch. So we're going to be spacing those out a bit more and have those happening every other week. I'm not saying bi-weekly, because bi-weekly is one of the most confusing words. Is it twice a week or every other week? It is every other week.
It's like some people are like semi-monthly. I'm like,
no. So every other week, we'll be doing one of those, and that should just mean even better videos.
Yeah, exactly. So we're excited to do that, and I think creatively, it's something that we really want to like dig into a little bit more and just do more around that like vlog sort of diary format.
Right.
So I think that's going to be really fun for us.
Yeah. It doesn't mean you'll never see us, in the studio here doing something. It just means, more vlogs than we had been doing last year.
Don't worry, people. The challenge board will be alive and well.
And it's being reset. We
had
so many people saying, Krysta needs a fresh shot at 2023. We're going to reset. Great. I can't wait to win again.
This might be my year, you guys.
All right.
This might be my year to like take it home. We'll see.
Great.
I think the idea of resetting it every year is genius. This is actually not our idea. It was one of our Patreon community
Several
members.
of them, actually.
Several,
insisted on this.
And they were very, very smart. So because we're doing more vlog style videos and taking that focus for Super Kitten Krysta 64, we are going to be doing more game-focused streaming.
Right.
And that's, again, when we first started this, we collectively were most nervous, I think, about streaming, because that's something that we did not do.
We've never done it before.
At Nintendo. It was kind of a big undertaking just for us to get into the rhythm of what that means and what that looks like for us. But I think we have gotten some good practice this year. obviously there's lots more improvement we can make to gameplay streams, but that's an area that we want to be more regular about in 2023.
Yeah, and especially if Super Kit and Krysta 64 is going to have more vlog stuff, we never wanted to lose gameplay. That's something we talk about so much. Is like we never want to be a video game channel
that never
plays an actual video game. Like there's a lot out there that do like rumors or like gossipy stuff. It's like those do fine. That's fine for them. But that's just not like we need gameplay. We
want to actually be playing games,
right?
And even more so like playing games together, because that's what we love to do, and we want to keep sharing that with you guys.
Right. So in the weeks where we do not have a Super Kit and Krysta 64, we'll be doing one of those streams where we'll be playing games and hanging out and having a good time.
Yeah. Exactly.
All this stuff's going to go into effect soonish, I would say.
Yeah.
We'll let you know kind of the particulars of when and where.
Yeah, we'll get the schedules updated.
Soon.
Going to give us a little bit of time to come back from vacations and get everything in order. But these are sort of the big things we've been thinking about as we looked back on everything that we did last year. And, of course, all of your wonderful comments. And we take all of that into consideration when we're thinking about, like, how we can improve and do better and just keep growing. So I think that's sort of the big things that we want to do this year, which I'm really excited about. I feel like last year was all about like setting up the foundation. Everything was so new to both of us that we weren't sure how much we can take on. And this year is definitely about, being more ambitious and like doing even more interesting, cool things that maybe make us feel a little bit uncomfortable sometimes, but in a good way.
Don't forget Sonic Week in the schedule. That's coming up this month. We're going to be announcing the time for that soon.
It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be exciting. Yeah.
I refrained myself from watching the Sonic movie on the airplane.
Oh, good.
Because I was like, I should just say.
Haven't you already seen that movie?
I saw the first one, but not the second one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the first one was very good. It's in San Francisco.
Okay.
So you can watch it.
Great. Great.
Yeah, Sonic Week is going to be great. We're very excited about that.
So a very exciting year ahead for us.
Yeah. Very exciting year.
And speaking of an exciting year, these predictions.
Let's
get into these predictions.
How are we doing this? Are we doing our predictions first?
Let's do ours first, and then we've got a bunch from Patreon
yeah.
that we can share that I think add to the experience.
Yes.
But maybe you and I can like trade off.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds great. Should I go first?
Sure.
Okay. So I read a lot of contrary predictions from our Patreon community.
What do you mean contrary?
To the one that I'm going to say right now.
Oh.
But I don't think there's going to be any new hardware from Nintendo.
Okay.
In 2023. There's a lot of people that are like, Switch 2 will be announced this year.
So you're saying it will not be announced or launched this year?
No.
I actually had that very same
Did you?
prediction.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do not think there's going to be any announcements, any... I just don't think there's going to be anything
so
about
let's talk about it, because this is obviously
hardware.
one of the most popular, and people will be talking about this literally all year long. So let's talk about why we feel strongly about this.
Yeah, I really do think that, and we've talked about this a little bit before, that Nintendo is all about like elongating the life cycles for the current hardware that they're on. That is very successful.
Yes.
Like Switch is really successful, and there's already a huge install base for it. The OLED is not that old, right? So it still functions well, I think, for their purposes. I just don't think that they are like wanting to take a risk to like upend that in favor of new hardware.
Yeah. Mr. Furukawa has said many times that they want to rethink the traditional life cycle. Mm-hmm. So that's a big hint that they've dropped. And they're in the dream position where they have a massive install base that is still buying a ton of games.
Right.
It's not like the Wii where it had a big spike and then totally fell off in the last years and you needed to we got to move because this thing's dead.
Exactly.
Like Pokemon just broke all those records. Splatoon just broke all those records. And they got big games for this year. You got Zelda, and you do not want to take anybody's eye off of the ball for those.
Exactly. And I don't think they want to distract people with anything else, because I think that would be that would almost be like shooting themselves in the foot,
Exactly.
So even if they announced something that wasn't coming out for a year later or 2 years later, that would be a pretty bad business decision.
Yeah.
Because you have a huge game like Tears of the Kingdom coming and then people are going to be like, I'm not going to buy this game because I'm going to wait for the new console.
Right.
Like, that would be a dumb thing for them to do.
Right. So I do think 2024 is the year. These are not our 2024 predictions, though.
Yeah.
You know, we'll talk about it in our news story. Some people seem to think the Switch Pro is dead.
Let's talk about that later.
Again,
but,
yes. I think this is a no discussion of new hardware this year. I agree.
I don't.
Wow, we agree out of the gate. That's amazing.
That's great. Okay, now you go next.
I have a twofer Pokemon.
Okay. I have kind of a Pokemon.
Okay, well, why don't we do a couple on Pokemon?
Okay, go for it.
I feel that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was the last core Pokemon game we are getting for Switch. So I've seen a lot of people wondering, like, well, what's going to be the next Pokemon game? We've got Pokemon Day coming up next month, where that's like a sure thing.
That's
you get a bunch of announcements.
I was thinking about Pokemon Day, and there's going to probably be some big breaking news.
What is the announcement there? So I think for Pokemon Day, the news will be some DLC, a pretty big DLC pack for Scarlet and Violet.
Yep.
And, you know, if our assumptions about the Switch life cycle are right, I think Game Freak and, you know, all the other teams that are now working on this are just going to say, let's just get ready for the next generation, get our next big game ready for that.
Yeah.
I saw some people suggesting, like, oh, there might be another Pokemon Legends game coming out in between, but I mean, that's the same scope as a normal or another Let's Go game.
Yeah.
That's also a big in scope game. But I think they can write out DLC for a year, and then from there, you know, really move on to new hardware and focus on their next big generation.
And I wonder, you know, if any of the sort of the performance issues, like almost
take the time
solidified. Yes. I'm sure they were already thinking about this before the performance issues, but just from that experience, they may all really be like yes, this is a good proof point as to why we should be waiting for more powerful, potentially more powerful hardware, and then take our time to develop a really amazing like blockbuster.
Yeah, there may be some smaller spin-offs, but as far as like those big scope of those like main core RPGs, I think we've seen the last of those as far as new original games on the Switch.
Yeah, so mine is sort of related to that. I also didn't think that there's going to be like a big gaming, you know, game coming this year from Pokemon, but I feel like they are continuing to make so many moves in like the more of the broader like entertainment area. Yeah. And I think they're going to announce a new Pokemon movie.
Okay.
So I'm sure they're seeing like...
Ryan Reynolds back?
Hey, he's hot, so let's do it. Danny DeVito is finally in.
Oh, no.
No, just kidding. But I do feel like they're watching sort of all of the fandom and just excitement around the Mario movie, and maybe feeling like, it's been a while since Detective Pikachu, and that wasn't really sort of, you know, mainline Pokemon movie. Yeah. It's sort of a side story.
It was a half step. They didn't go all the way.
They didn't, and they can now. They really should.
Maybe they should have done that from the beginning.
They can and they should. They have, you know, they have so much experience with the anime. They have so much, you know, so many relationships with celebrities now for all the stuff they've done in the past. Yeah. I just think it's like ripe for some sort of like really big mainline Pokemon movie.
So are you saying this is a Pokemon Day announcement or just sometime this year?
I was thinking it was going to be Pokemon Day.
Oh, really? I can't remember when Detective Pikachu or how that got announced the first time.
I think it was Pokemon Day.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's big.
And they do so many celebrity things on around Pokemon Day nowadays. Like they do like all of the, you know, the music stuff, like songs, whatever. I think it would be really cool for them to announce like a holiday movie or something like that.
That'd be cool
during Pokemon Day in February.
Yeah.
So
great.
Yeah,
I
Pokemon
like
just generally, I think maybe less of a focus on games and more of a focus on entertainment. You know, overall this year could be something cool that they're doing.
Do you have any other Pokemon stuff while we're on that?
That was my only Pokemon thing.
Why don't we... I'm going to get out of the world of Nintendo for a bit here.
Yeah, I have some other...
The Microsoft Activision acquisition.
Yeah, I have that on my list as well.
Right.
Mine says, still doesn't happen.
So it'll be ongoing, but still kind of in action this year. Okay.
I think it's going to be another year of nonsense with FTCs and blah, blah, blah.
I don't know if Phil Spencer can take this.
Oh, poor Phil.
Feel bad for him.
Poor Phil. I just think it's too much drama for it to be like a settled thing.
Right.
For it to be a done deal, as I say.
Yeah. I think it will go through this year.
Oh.
But I think Microsoft is going to have to make some major concessions to make it happen.
Okay, interesting.
I think as it stood originally, they're on some shaky ground for it to get approved. And we started to see around the end of the year, they're like, hey, we're going to do this 10-year deal with Nintendo, and we're willing to talk to PlayStation. I think there's going to be more
of those
in
like
that
leeways.
Ilk of like, oh, we're kind of, making this available to more people, so it doesn't feel like and it's one of those things where like in the end it's like, is this actually going to be worth it for you?
That's what I was just going to say. Like, it feels like you're stripping away so much of like the value of it. Does it even
they're so deep in this already. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm going to do it no matter what.
Yeah, you're just really you got your feet like firmly planted on this.
And I've been reading about how like, either way, like they've invested billions of dollars into this. So it's like, I guess you might as well just do it and then, figure it out later.
It's going to be a mess.
It's Microsoft, so it's like fake money to begin with. But
it's like Monopoly money.
Right. But I feel like that's what the direction this is going to take.
Yeah.
Is it getting further and further away from what it was?
Sure.
And they will still own it, but it will be more broadly available than they originally wanted.
Yeah, they probably won't have all the exclusivity stuff that they originally wanted.
I mean, you're still getting the money for it in the end.
Maybe that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You still get your Monopoly money one way or the other.
Right. Your fake money.
Yeah. I just think the drama, it will continue. We'll see how long they can drag this out for, honestly. And yes, poor Phil Spencer. Please hang in there.
Please make it, yes.
I have another Xbox one as well. I think they're going to increase the Game Pass price.
Yes. That's a good one.
I think that one's coming.
I think that's a safe one.
Imminent.
I think that's happening soon, actually, yeah.
Actually, like, I get so much value out of this. I can't believe they haven't done it already. I honestly was like, how is this?
I think for both of us, that's literally all we do on our Xbox. We have a Series S, both of us.
Yes.
And that's all we do on it.
That's all I do. I've never done anything else than just download and try games on Game Pass.
Right.
They have that smart TV, partnership with Samsung, which is really cool. I'm just like, how is a service? The service cannot be making them any money.
Well, Phil has also dropped some breadcrumbs around that. Of like some things might go up, and I think that was him saying.
It smells like a Disney Plus situation.
It's all these streaming services, like they start low to get you in,
exactly,
and then they slowly raise it, and before you know it, like what they raised? I didn't even know they raised the price.
That's what happened to me with Netflix. I'm like, I'm paying $20 a month for this.
And then you freaked out and canceled it.
I canceled it, but because I don't use it, but I use Game Pass a lot, so I don't foresee
Better
myself
not cancel that.
Canceling anything. Like
I think that's a very safe bet this year.
I just feel like either way, it's not gonna make me not want to use it though, is the thing. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, they raised the price by like however much and I'm like off of this. I just don't think that. I think they have the audience like pretty captured on this, All right.
Did you go or did I go? You just went.
I just went.
All right, I have two more in the Xbox world, so let's just wrap up those.
I have one more.
All right, well let's do all of those.
Let you go ahead.
So I think 2022 was kind of a weird and tough year for Xbox. They just didn't have many games.
Didn't have a lot going on there.
And I think that is going to unfortunately continue for the majority of the year. I do think by the end of the year, they're going to show some signs of starting to turn it around. They'll have more concrete games, more for 2024. And my other is, I do think, Starfield is their big game that is currently slated for the first half of the year.
It's probably going to get delayed.
I think that's going to get delayed to the end of the year, and that's going to be the big holiday game. Yeah. But I think that's going to be an extremely divisive game. Yeah. It's going to be like a love it or hate it situation. Mm-hmm. I think that game is going to have a lot of the Bethesda jank that seems inescapable.
Sometimes it's just so bloated.
But people these days, I mean, after Cyberpunk, after all these, after Pokemon, I think people have had it with games.
That's what I'm saying. People have, rightly so, need to have higher expectations.
And you would think Microsoft would say ship it when it's ready, but they really need something now.
I know.
They're
need to get desperate.
So I think the compromise is going to be you can have like 5 more months to work on this, but it needs to be out for the holidays.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to push it past the holidays. It's already been delayed once.
Right.
It's going to get delayed again.
Yeah, because I've seen like there's some games like, oh, you're going to get the new Forza game. Like there's a couple games on the horizon, but they don't strike me as like the big smash hit that everybody's going to want to play.
And it's not going to be like a like sort of like a like news getter. Like it's not going to get like people talking about it, right? It's not going to drive that like drive the conversation. I hate that phrase.
Right.
Because it's all like sort of franchises you've seen or heard before, not super like ambitious. This is their only one that's like new, different, that would kind of get that kind of attention.
So I continue to be puzzled about why they're in this situation, because they acquired so many studios, and in the past they seem to have had a pretty good pipeline.
Yeah.
It just feels like they're having like a 1.5 year rut that they need to dig themselves out of.
Something happened with their schedule, I feel like. Like something weird happened with their development schedule, whether it maybe is from like the pandemic that's like sort of bleeding into this or something like that, but it just feels like stuff that was on the calendar kind of fell off somehow.
Yeah, but and again, by the end of the year, I think they'll have shown more game, like Fable, like they might have a date and concrete details. Yeah. So I think people will feel good. Right, but it's going to be kind of a touch and go.
Slog.
It's going to be touch and go until we get there.
My last one for Xbox is sort of related to this.
New Xbox fridge?
Oh, I hope so.
Xbox toaster?
Xbox toaster.
Full Xbox appliances for your kitchen.
I would be okay. Xbox rice cooker.
Oh, now we're talking.
I would love that.
Okay.
I would buy that.
Yeah.
Plays like an Xbox tone in the rice system with the little green.
Yeah.
Cute. Okay, anyways, but I was thinking like their game launches seem just super shaky.
Yeah.
We have still yet to hear about this Halo co-op.
I honestly have not been paying very close attention. I feel like there was something about that where like part of it got canceled. I don't know. I shouldn't say.
It was like something confusing. But like,
do you still care?
I kind of want them just to do it at this point.
Do what?
Just have it.
Have what?
The co-op.
Is this your prediction?
Yes.
That they will have it?
Yes.
A thing that they already announced?
Yeah, that they'll finally launch it.
This is shaky. Okay.
Don't you think?
Sure.
I mean, you got to keep people on there somehow.
Okay.
With nothing else going on.
I'm not totally sure what you're trying to say here, but okay.
Can't they just
do it?
Just
make it. Just do it.
Just make it.
Just put it out.
Why can't you make it?
Why haven't you done it? It's that easy. Just make it.
Just make it. I want to play it. Why don't you just do it?
I just did it. Boom.
Oh, wow. You did it?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
that's
that
good.
easy.
Great. Good job.
That's how you make games.
Yeah.
Are we out of Xbox zone here?
I think so.
All right. Let's go. I'm going to talk about PlayStation here.
Okay. I have some PlayStation ones.
I think this is going to be a massive bonkers year for the PS5.
Yeah.
They seem to finally have gotten over the hump.
I have that exactly.
Of the production problems.
There are shortages.
It seemed like in the holidays, like it seemed to be very available.
Exactly.
And I think
people were excited about like buying it. There were so many of those like PlayStation unwrapping Christmas videos this year that like reminded me so much of like the the N64 kid or like the like that kind of hype.
Right.
Like people are so excited to finally get their hands on it.
And I think, there was so much pent-up demand over the last couple of years. I think that demand is still there.
Exactly.
Which is lucky for, that could have just gone away. Of like, I bought something else, or I don't care anymore. Like, people still care, which is great.
But they have a lot of great games.
They do have big
games. The PS5, so they have that going for them, for sure.
So I need to do my next prediction, because it hooks into this.
Oh, okay.
In the PS3 generation, when things were going so bad for that initial launch, they did sort of a relaunch of the system when they had some new games, and they launched the PS3 Slim as like, we're starting over, we're starting fresh. So now that they're out of this shaky period of like, we can't make or ship a console, I think we get a PS5 Slim timed around a lot, maybe Spider-Man or some other big game of like, hey, it's on. We are going big. Yeah. Come in. We got the stuff.
That's an interesting one.
And it's gonna explode.
Do you think that they would have another system, another hardware, even if it's just like a different version of it?
What do you mean?
With the supply stuff being just sort of figured out? Or do you think they focus on like just making sure that pipeline is like real strong for original PS5 and
I don't know. I mean, they seem to have figured some of that out by the end of the year, and there's probably months of buildup to get to that point.
Yeah, I don't know how supply chain thing works, honestly.
We're getting a bit over our heads.
Yeah, I don't know like what the process would look like.
I don't know.
On the factory floor.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they've been building
one.
These things for months already. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. I was thinking like they would do some sort of like big bundling, some big, maybe even like alternate colors, like something to like just make sure you're still thinking about PS5 and just like they have so many so many big, huge games coming. Like they would do some sort of big push
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
So I totally had the same.
But
thought
it's
as well.
they're just gonna sweep the NPDs this year.
I think so. Yeah. I think this is the year where they will be number one for months and months and months.
Yeah.
They're already sort of crawling up there. Like every
they
month.
had some number one months.
It's like Switch, PS5, like kind of back and forth.
Yep.
So I think this is the sweep year for them.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's my only PlayStation one.
So they're gonna have a big year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huge PlayStation
Cool.
year.
Let's go back to Nintendo, and I want to talk about
many more
Zelda. I want to talk about Zelda.
I got some Zelda.
So we actually got some questions on our last bonus Q&A where I hinted at some of these predictions.
Yes.
So,
okay.
I think that the kind of launch ramp up to the release of this game is going to feel light. I don't think Nintendo feels compelled to show as much as they did for the original game, because it's like, hey, this is the sequel to one of the best games we've ever made. What else do you need to know? You're going to buy it. And I remember when I worked on Breath of the Wild,
the leaks,
I personally had
spoilers.
I had a lot of discussions with the dev team on what do you consider to be a spoiler and what do I consider to be a spoiler.
They're different,
and we had differences of opinion.
Yeah.
And I think that dev team is very committed to the true Nintendo ethos of it. We are going to surprise you, and I don't think
we're going to let you discover it.
And I think now they have so much leverage to be like, hey, do it our way. We're making this incredible game.
Okay.
Listen to us. And I think people are going to listen. Okay. So, I'm sure there'll be some trailers. But my thing is, I don't know if anybody is going to play this game until it actually comes out.
You think there's some hands-on?
We had that big event before the Switch came out. We had hundreds of people play it.
Right.
We had Game Informer play it for a cover story.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's going to play this game.
You don't think people are going to touch the game?
I don't think so.
Yeah, or have their own sort of independent opinions about it. That's not something directly from Nintendo.
Right. So I'm not saying they're not going to do anything. Like they'll do stuff. They'll do a lot. But they will be doing a lot less than they did for Breath of the Wild.
And that was
because they can.
That came out with the Switch hardware.
Yes.
So such a different landscape.
Right. But it was like a Zelda game that we had never seen. They had to prove it.
That's true.
Prove that this is good. Prove that this is going to work.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we proved it.
Yeah. Obviously, we proved it with the mountains of Game Awards that they took away that year, or the Game of the Year awards. So I do think, though, I agree that hands-on might not be a thing that they're focused on. I know we've seen with Breath of the Wild sort of the control the dev team wants over people's experience and for them to really have that sense of discovery. That game is all about that sense of discovery. So to preserve that is very important to them. But I do think they're going to want to sort of tell you things that they want you to know and pay attention to. So I do think there's going to be a title direct for this.
Well, I didn't say there would be nothing.
Oh, okay.
You weren't listening.
I was listening.
To what I just said 2 minutes ago.
I was listening very closely.
You think there'll be a full title direct?
I do.
Okay. I don't know if I think it'll be included in a direct. I don't know if we get that much.
I think we get a title direct.
All right.
Although that the hardware leaked, so unfortunately I thought
some debate over whether that's real.
Some debate whether that's real. Looks pretty real. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Looks real.
Who knows?
All right.
Yeah. I was thinking they would announce that hardware. I did think there was going to be special hardware for it, obviously. Yeah. There's definitely some sort of special hardware.
We are recording this on January 2nd. We need to timestamp.
Oh, timestamp.
In case some announcement happens this week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For posterity. January 2nd.
Ka-chunk.
This is not a work day for the rest of the world.
No, we are at it.
We are putting these down so that the world can know how we feel.
We put this in our time capsule box right now.
Yes, exactly.
I really thought that a title direct was going to come. They were going to release sort of new info. I think what I would like them to do, and I think what they might do, is sort of give us a little bit more context as to where this game places in the timeline and how it relates to Breath of the Wild. Because I think that's what they want to do, or they need to do, is they need to tie it back to Breath of the Wild as closely as possible, but still communicate the key, unique differences.
Well, it took 3 years for them to tell us the title, which meant literally nothing. So I don't know.
That's true. And show us a logo.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think that is sort of key information that Nintendo would be, they would be motivated to tell people that.
Sure.
And then I thought that the special edition hardware or any sort of special editions would be announced within that title direct, whether it's so they could have the hardware, they could just do like a special game, game box or game some sort of other with figures or something like that. It could be some other like physical thing that you could buy. That's not just the game.
There will be a product you can buy.
That's not the game!
Great prediction. All right, my next one is perhaps my most controversial out of the whole lot. It's related to Zelda. I think Tears of the Kingdom will be a mild disappointment for a lot of people.
You're just trying to...
Let me explain why.
I think you're trying to set your own expectations.
Well, going back to that point of Breath of the Wild was so new and so different and surprised us in so many ways, and this is more of an iteration on that.
Yeah.
That sense of excitement and discovery and newness cannot be recaptured.
You can't replicate that now.
I'm not saying this is still going to score like 9s and 10s, but I think for people who are expecting to have that exact same shock and surprise of they have redefined what Zelda is, they have made a video game that has, shattered every convention I had, I don't think you can do that again.
Right.
Within what they seem to be making.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible.
I don't know.
Right?
I think, again, maybe you say it's me, setting my own expectations. I don't know how people are feeling expectation-wise.
I think the game will still have, it's still going to be an amazing game. I think it's still going to be, there's still going to be surprises and cool discoveries and mechanics that they'll put in. But I think what will not happen this time around is that longevity that we saw with Breath of the Wild, where people were like, hey, did you know you could do blank, blank, blank?
Hey, here's this thing I did. Wow. Yeah.
Wow, you can get through it this way, blank, 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 right? And that was so incredible because usually, with Elden Ring, we saw some of that as well. But it was very sort of concentrated within the first couple months.
It fell off quicker than I expected.
Exactly. And Breath of the Wild had that longevity where I think for years and years and years afterwards, people were still doing that and discovering that and interested in that.
Right.
I don't think Tears of the Kingdom will have that aspect of it.
Yes.
And I just don't think that's you can't.
So maybe this is our message to the good people watching and listening to this podcast: is manage your expectations for this game.
You're still gonna love the game, so don't. It's not like a downer.
Know. You need to get on some message boards, I think.
What?
You personally.
Me?
Take to the message boards.
I don't want to.
You need to.
You're gonna like it. It's gonna be good.
You're up next.
My other one is related to Zelda as well, and I do think these Twilight Princess Wind Waker ports are coming to Switch ahead.
Oh, yes.
Or either ahead or maybe after.
Would that be in the title direct? No.
Could be.
So again, with the timing is my only hesitation.
Yeah, so May is when this game, Tears of the Kingdom,
comes out in May.
They want to keep Zelda excitement, they want to get Zelda excitement, hyped before the game comes out.
Right.
So they might drop the... I also think there's going to be a general direct.
Presumably, there would be a general direct sometime this month or next month.
Yes. This is one of my predictions, is general direct in February.
Okay.
They drop the Twilight Princess Wind Waker ports there.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then... So now Zelda excitement is
so you have 3 months, and then they do
and then they announce we'll do a title direct for
in
April. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I think that is the cadence that I think would work.
The cadence of Hyrule.
Oh, they should.
That's a different game
again. Great game. Yeah, because again, they really need to get they really need to reinvigorate the Zelda hype, which has not happened at all last year. We had nothing Zelda. In 2020, nobody's thought about Zelda except for getting a logo for Tears of the Kingdom.
It's cutting it a little close, but it could happen.
Yeah, these games are done anyway. They have them.
Well, let me give you an alternate take on what could happen in that direct.
Okay.
I mean, it'll happen, this month or next. the Metroid Prime remaster.
You're back to that?
I am because let me again.
Go.
This is a two-parter. I think
Metroid
Metroid Prime 4 is the big holiday game for this year.
That's what I think too.
On the Switch, not whatever next system is.
No, it's not in the next system.
It's on the Switch. Again, you want to talk about getting people excited for a franchise that you haven't heard nothing about.
Not a peep.
Put that out.
Well, Dread. We had Dread a few years ago.
That's true. That was a couple years though. So I think that could be a shadow drop to get people just back ready. I know. My prediction is the Prime remaster launches this year to get people ready for Metroid Prime 2 launch in the holidays.
Right.
I'm not hooking myself in too much to this February.
Zone?
You trapped me there. I don't like that. It's a classic Krysta move.
I trap you.
You trapped me. For a while I was in the camp of maybe they hold it for the next hardware. I'm really off of that now.
I don't think they're going to do that.
I think they have...
That next hardware is not coming.
But I think they also have so many other teams and games ready, or getting ready for that. Like Mario Kart 9 is going to be like a day one.
Right. That's going to be like...
Yeah.
That's going to be like the launch hardware.
That's going to be the launch, the big launch game.
Yeah, because
so they're
Mario
like, Metroid
Kart 8,
Prime? Like, who cares? We got big stuff.
And also, Nintendo still believes, which may or may not be true, that Metroid is for like a very niche audience.
It is.
It is kind of, but not really.
I would be worried if that was the big launch game.
That can't be it.
Yeah, you need something more broad, like Mario Kart 9.
Only for active gamers.
And then it's also like, well, what's the Tokyo team been working on? Like ever since Mario Odyssey came out, they're probably working on some Switch 2 game. You know?
Yeah, although I do think, okay, well, I have
is this your next prediction?
I have some Mario stuff.
Anything else on Metroid?
Yes, I have Metroid.
Okay.
So Metroid, I agree. I think we're going to get this Prime Trilogy on Switch this year. I think it's going to be announced and dropped later in the year.
Like a summer?
I also think Prime 4 is going to be, or I'm sorry, Metroid 4 is going to be the holiday title. So let's say that game comes out, say, in October.
Which one? Prime 4?
4.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they would drop the Prime, the remasters in the summer.
Like a July-ish.
Yeah, July.
Or like at E3.
Yeah.
During E3.
That could be a big E3 announcement for them. Yeah. So that's what I think.
Okay.
I think the beginning of the year, they're going to be very Zelda-focused, leading up to Tears of the Kingdom.
Pikmin is the other game. I could see that being like a summer game.
That's very summery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be another...
you got Fire Emblem at the start of the year.
Yep.
You have Zelda
and
Pikmin, Metroid. That's all you need. And then you have some other little things to...
And you have your third-party stuff.
You got the Kirby remake.
Yeah. And then there's going to be some...
Right. That's a pretty good year.
Indie stuff. There's going to be some... Yeah.
Xbox would kill for that kind of year.
Sorry, Xbox. Maybe the Halo co-op, though.
Oh, my God.
Launch it.
I just did it.
Launch it.
Boom. I just launched it.
Just launch it.
Okay.
So that's what I think. That's what I think is going on with Metroid.
We're agreeing too much in these predictions. I don't like it.
Probably because we're right, honestly. Because we know too much. Actually, we don't know anything.
We don't know anything about these.
But we know kind of like.
Yeah. We know how they think.
We know how they think. We're in their heads. Aha. I have more Nintendos. Oh, so Mario. Want to talk about Mario?
Yeah, I had something about the Mario movie, but nothing about Mario games.
Well, tell me your Mario movie prediction.
Oh, I just did too many. All right, fine. It's a prediction I made before. The Mario movie's making $1 billion. It will not be stopped. It's a juggernaut. When we did that episode, people were like, I don't know. What do you know now?
You had the stats.
$1 bajillion.
That movie is going to break so many records.
Yes.
It's going to be like the best video
You did not agree with me either.
I didn't agree with you.
Do you now?
I do because I saw more trailers. Now I'm like in. I'm so in now. I'm so in on the Mario movie.
You got to hitch your wagon to the kit train.
I'm hitching my wagon to Mario.
Oh.
Much better. Much more of
Mario train.
Much more of a sure thing
than
the
K train.
Oh, that's my train.
It's our train.
Oh. But yeah, I think the Mario movie is gonna literally just like shatter all records. It's gonna be like the best video game movie of all time.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Well, as we found, it's a low bar.
Lowish bar.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to like redefine quality around video game movies.
Redefine fun?
Oh,
redefine entertainment? Wow. It's bold.
But I do think it's going to be like, it's going to set like a bar, right? And now other video game movies are going to have to do better.
Like Pokemon.
Which is good because we need better video game movies.
We deserve better.
People...
I don't need it, I deserve it.
You can't just phone it in just because you had like a franchise for like a long time. Don't do that. That's not nice.
Resident Evil. Did I say that?
Exactly.
I'm sick. Did I mention that?
I do think there's going to be
what's your Mario game prediction?
I think there's going to be a Mario game announcement.
Okay.
Because again, I think they're going to want to like capitalize on the hype of that movie.
Now there has been this rumor about a 2D Mario game.
Yeah. I think it's a 2D Mario.
And that could be the other with Metroid. The big
like one is for active gamers.
October.
Shocktober.
No, Shocktober's Metroid, November Mario 2D.
Yeah, Mario 2D.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then you get like your Black Friday. Like your
new Super Mario Brothers? Another one of those?
New Super Mario Brothers.
Who?
OLED.
Oh no.
OLED who? With a secret Luigi
Not
mode.
you. Who?
With more coins than ever. Just don't phone it in, 2D Mario people. They always phone it in. That's another one where you'd be very lazy. Just make it better.
New Super Mario Brothers Wii was really good.
That was with a bubble?
That was a long time ago, though.
Yeah. New Super Mario Brothers U was a little lazy, don't you think?
I didn't love that one.
With the squirrels?
According to our good friend Jeremy Parrish, that's the best Mario game ever made. We'll talk about that with him another time.
Jeremy, I have some...
Yeah. Put the hot lights on him.
We need to have some real talk, my friend.
Hot lights.
We need to have some real
Okay, anything else?
talk.
Anything else about this Mario game?
No.
Is it Mario the movie, the game?
I don't think it's going to be the Mario.
It's not based on the movie.
No, but I do think there's going to be some Mario something. Because they got theme parks opening. They got movies. They got Mario is in the spotlight. They want to have like a game pillar.
Again,
with all their stuff.
That's another game where it's like we are cashing in on the 100+ million Switch systems we have sold.
Yes, why not? You should.
Watch us make this money.
We're printing it right now. And it's not even Monopoly money, it's real money.
That's real
dollars
money.
and yen, people.
That's wham, baby. Walking around money.
Gonna be like the money's gonna be like popping out of his pocket. just like exploding out of his
You get a Hamilton, you get a Ulysses S. Grant. You get a Ben Franklin. Wow.
Japanese
He's just walking down the halls of that office handing out bills.
Gun. He's just like
He's shooting money? He's shooting money like it's halftime at like a Lakers game or something? Oh my gosh.
He's got a t-shirt cannon. He's got a money cannon.
That sounds like a great time. Wow.
He's got champagne. Spraying that.
They're definitely not having that much fun there.
No, they're really not. They're like in a white room.
Boy, we're getting down to the end here.
Yes, we are. Let me see if there's anything else on my list here. I think I might have just gone through them.
I think I have one more.
Okay, go for it.
Do you have any more?
I think that's it. Mine is done.
This is I don't know how many people are thinking about this, but when we were at the Game Awards, this stood out to me of like, ooh, there's a big glut of games in June.
Oh.
There is Street Fighter 6, Diablo 4, and Final Fantasy 16. Mind you, this is also less than a month after Zelda comes out. So I'm like, this is bad. This is too many big games all at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was worried about that, but my prediction is that I will not have to worry about it because it's going to resolve itself because some of these games are going to get delayed.
You think Diablo's getting delayed?
Or Final Fantasy could get delayed too. I don't know.
I don't think Final Fantasy's getting delayed.
I don't think Street Fighter's getting delayed.
I don't think Street Fighter's getting delayed. They're not known for
But if it's like...
Diablo.
Is it like we need more time or it's like a game of chicken of like we need to get out of this?
I think it's a game of chicken.
Yes.
I would get
Be
out
the
of
chicken and just get out of there because it's not going to go well.
It's not going to go well for anyone.
Yeah. It's not going to go well.
And then we're going to have Forbidden West DLC launching the same day as Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Should have seen that coming.
And then be salty about it?
Yeah.
And then we're going to be salty about it.
Right. So that's probably like the lowest stakes one of mine of all of these. But
yeah. Well, you're just,
I
was
worried about that.
You're
at the Game
personally
Awards.
invested in this because you're like scared that you're never going to be able to sleep again because you've been playing video games
That's a lot of games
24 hours
in
a
like
day.
the span of a month.
Yeah,
I want to play all those games.
We all do. All right. Should we go through some of these predictions from our wonderful Patreon subscribers?
In the end, we had more than 23 probably, and we've got like a half dozen nice ones from our Patreon subscribers here.
Captain Alex has our first one. I pray that we're going to get another Pokemon game in the Let's Go franchise. But if we don't, I think we're definitely getting, definitely all caps, definitely getting another game in the Legends franchise now that Paradox Pokemon from present and future are a huge part of the main series.
That's kind of different than what we were saying, but okay.
Yeah. Kind of different. I stick with my guns on Pokemon focusing on more entertainment things this year, but we shall see.
Got to hear both sides, as they say.
Yeah. Are you gonna keep? Are you gonna,
Where are you going with this? Daniel Cold is next.
Yes,
the Mario movie will be a huge hit, and
Yes.
shortly after, Miyamoto will announce that there will be a series of original Nintendo movies coming out over the next 5 years.
Whoa!
With the Donkey Kong movie being the first, and with a holiday 2024 release. I like that Daniel is thinking big here.
He's thinking very big.
It's not just one movie. We're going full Marvel.
We're going full. I was gonna say this feels very Marvel.
Look
Daniel.
at this PowerPoint presentation with the full roadmap.
The roadmap for the
yes.
next 25 years of our lives will be laid out.
Mr. Miyamoto is going to come out in a business suit and a baseball hat. Like, what's his name? Let me tell you what's going on.
He's going to be at a Comic-Con panel with a giant PowerPoint.
Yes.
Fall 8.
Prince Charmless, Advance Wars Remake will finally be released this year. ... Right?
No.
This was such a stay away from me.
Yeah. I'm never going to talk about this again.
I just don't know.
Literally never talking about this again.
I don't know.
They've really painted themselves into a bad corner.
I also don't think they care either. It's like it's like fine.
That poor development team though, that stinks.
Yeah, it's bad for them.
All right, Paul. I believe there will be a Steam Deck OLED, which is slightly even more beefy than the original.
I agree with this. I actually overlooked the Steam Deck when I was doing the predictions, probably because I don't own one.
Right.
But that seems like a good bet.
Yeah. Hopefully they can figure out their supply stuff so people don't have to wait like a million years.
I think that's better now. I think that's a little bit better now too.
Okay, I don't have any.
It's just the play date now that you have to wait a long time. Good thing we got those.
We got those.
Sharif Jackson, Xbox Cloud app for Switch. That would be interesting.
That would be very interesting.
I had not considered that either, but
that's not possible.
Yeah.
I think this is in the realm of possibility.
I think
for
so.
Sure. Yeah.
Link, Kit becomes a huge Sonic fan. I wouldn't. I mean,
I'm not going to roll that
anything's
out.
possible in 2023.
Yeah, and I think you have so many positive things for Sonic Week that we're lining up. Like you have your Sonic consultant. Mm-hmm. We have a wonderful group of Sonic fans that are giving. We have a channel in our Discord now for Sonic Week that
we do.
A lot of people are giving some great suggestions about what to avoid and what to play. So we're going in with a lot of support for Sonic Week, so I think that's going to be good. And
then finally, Zroid blew my mind with a non-gaming prediction, which is going to zag and predict something totally unrelated to video games. My bold prediction is that in 2023, using the James Webb Telescope, researchers will discover the first ever signs of extraterrestrial life. Are you joking me, Zroid?
That James Webb Telescope is pretty cool.
Whoa! Zroid.
It's going to discover...
Zroid is going galaxy brain on us. So you're thinking about video games? I'm playing 5D chess here.
It's going to get the first glimpse of
I got a
Metroid
telescope.
Prime 4.
I got a telescope. I got aliens.
The James Webb Telescope.
Holy moly, Zroid. Wow.
Awesome. These are great predictions. Gaming, non-gaming, life, non-life.
We are going to go back and track these.
Yes.
This could be a fun thing for us to track throughout the year, actually.
We should. We can just do a running, the running challenge
when it happens or gets disproved.
We can X
something out.
Yeah, I'll make a thingamajig for it.
Oh, a thingamajig.
A thingamajig
Great,
for it.
I love that.
Wow. Okay, how fun. I'm so glad.
That was fun.
That we're just putting this in the...
Yes. January 2nd, remember that.
That's what I'm saying. January 2nd.
So when on January 3rd, the Switch 2 gets announced...
Oh.
We had this down.
Your letter grade. Yeah, my letter grade.
Oh, my B minus.
It's getting decimated. All right. Shall we move on to what we've been playing?
Yes.
We've been playing a lot of stuff
Last
over
week
the
we sort of did quick hits on a couple things. We'll talk about them more here today.
Yeah.
A game we both played and finished, a Little Gator game.
Oh.
It's not little, it's little. It's hard to say.
Little Gator game.
Little Gator.
This game was incredibly adorable and charming. You played this first and beat it.
Yes.
And then you convinced me to play it, which I also played and beat.
Yes. It's short. Recently. It's like 5 hours.
Very short. Again.
But feels big.
Feels like Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Honestly.
It really does.
It really has.
But in a very charming slow-paced indie kind of feel to it.
Yeah. I think someone made a joke that was when you copy somebody, you can just copy them and call it an homage.
Yeah.
I would say this is an homage to Breath of the Wild because you can clearly see the developers' love for that style of game. And it was clearly impactful for them to make something that is in that style, I guess.
I mean, it's a big open world game. You can climb up stuff. You have the stamina wheel. There's a paraglider that works exactly the same.
Yeah, even some of the you collect and craft a lot of different weapons.
Right.
And it's very similar where, you can sort of change out, like you have this huge inventory of weapons to change out. Some of them look very similar to Breath of the Wild, some of them don't. Really is focused on exploration. And one thing that we both noted that we actually maybe needed some time to get used to was how in the beginning when we first started playing there was like no map.
Well, the whole game there's no map.
Right. There's no map. There's no sort of like do this objective in this order or something like that. To beat the game was very much a explore this island, talk to all of these different fun characters, and like just go at your own pace. And at first I was like, oh, I feel so like lost, but then soon I really kind of came around on this. I was like, oh,
somehow they made this game where you don't get lost and you don't get distracted or confused, unlike some of the other games we're going to talk about in what we've been playing here. No. It all works out in the end. And the area feels big, but by the end, once you've seen it all, you realize it's actually not that big.
It's like a teeny little island that you're on.
But there's a lot of like verticality to it too.
Yes. And there's a lot of I like this part that they did where they really encourage you to climb to high places and kind of look around the world, which is again very similar to Breath of the Wild, and then find your landmark and sort of navigate the world that way versus looking at a map.
Something that I'm still kind of confused about with this game is the quote combat is you are fighting these like cardboard cutout things that don't fight back, they just stand there, you knock them down, and yet I found the combat to be fun. I was like, why am I enjoying this?
Like the way that the cardboard cutouts break apart,
they kind of explode.
It's very satisfying, and then you sort of collect confetti, like construction. Like you think about a little kid that like made this fantasy world, right? And then like the currency is like confetti chips or something like that. That's kind of the very endearing feeling that you get when you.
I was like, this shouldn't be fun, but it is.
Yeah, because it's not like you feel like you're in danger.
There's no risk.
Yeah,
there's no like
you can't die.
There's no skill to it. You can't die.
Yeah, there's no like fall damage. There's none of that. You just sort of putz around.
Right. Yeah, but beyond that, like the feel of this game is very charming. It has a really endearing story where it's really like young Gator's sister is like a couple years older than him, and she's gone off to school, and they've had this make-believe game that they've always played.
Right.
And then she comes back, and he wants to play it with her, but she's like, I gotta do all this homework and stuff.
Yeah.
And he tries to like concoct a bigger and better game to get her to play with him again, which is very sweet.
It's really sweet.
And really like nicely paid off in the end.
The ending was so good because it really like, it sort of, all of it came together, and it kind of had like a very interesting twist almost on people that make games and how a game gets made.
So you have a different... I think it's about like holding on to like important parts of your childhood and never becoming that super boring adult who doesn't have that in their life anymore.
Well, I thought that was going to be that was what it was going to be going into it before I got to the ending. Then the ending happened.
Right.
And then I realized that it was also kind of like almost like a diary of like becoming a game developer.
Sure, yeah.
And like what that means, and like and sort of the other side of it, which is it's really, really hard work, and it's real work. It's like stuff that you do. Maybe when you are a little kid and you're like, I want to be a game developer, you think like, I'm just going to be playing games all day, you know?
Right.
But then when you actually get into becoming a game developer, you realize how much hard work it is,
right.
And then
there was a moment where I was like, am I going to be emotionally devastated by the ending of Little Gator Game?
Really?
If this sister just like tells Little Gator to buzz off?
Aww.
Yeah, I won't spoil it, but it pays it off. I was not really emotionally devastated.
No, and I think, again, it was like such a cool way to like glimpse that part of like what it's like to be a game developer.
I don't think that's what it's about at all, but okay.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think it's about holding on to your child and having a bit of whimsy in your life.
That too.
Okay, clearly you don't have any whimsy left at all.
But I'm saying that's sort of the realization is that like you get sort of lost in like doing the adult thing, and then like this reminds you to like.
It sounds like you just confirmed exactly what I said.
You're not
moving on.
To me at
a game I finished. Casual Birder on the Playdate.
On the Playdate.
We've unlocked like maybe 10-ish games.
Every week there's a new drop.
They're of varying quality, I would say. This was in the first batch.
Yes.
So I'd started it, and then I was just like, trying out all the different things. And I came back to this one, and it's probably my favorite one so far. It's kind of like a Pokemon-ish RPG where you're doing what's the name? Bird watching?
Bird watching.
Bird watching. This game's hilarious. Just got a really fun vibe to it. I did get, there are some puzzles later on that I got stuck at, and I actually found like the developer made their own guide and put it online. I was like, wow, more developers should do this.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it helped me get through some of these puzzles that were a bit tricky. It was only like 2 or 3 hours. So that's at the top of my playdate list now.
Okay.
Game is funny.
You like focus the camera with the little crank.
That's the thing. It's like none of the playdate games. Well, I shouldn't say none, but the majority of them, the crank has not been like essential to the experience in this. You're using the crank to focus on the bird with your camera.
It's a camera, yeah.
There are other ways that they could have done it. I mean, the crank is intuitive and nice, but I wouldn't say like I love this game because of the crank.
Right. I think that the crank, they do a good job of balancing it so it's not like super annoying that everything has to use this thing. But it does feel good. Like the other game that we were playing with the robot and the dates.
Yes.
What is it called? Time
travel adventures or something, yeah.
Yeah. Is like very crank based.
Yes.
But other games like Casual Birder, you used all the buttons as well.
Yeah, yeah. We did just unlock today this game that I've had my eye on. I've had it circled. And it's like a top-down strategy, like a Fire Emblem strategy-ish.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Game that I'm excited. I'm excited to try that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
As I said, I would. I also tried Stray over the break. I liked the first couple hours of Stray, and then I hit a wall of annoyance and frustration and apathy, and I just had to stop.
I'm so disappointed. I don't understand what's happening.
So,
because I did not hit this wall at all.
Well, good for you.
But why? I'm just...
So, the first couple hours, you're like exploring this environment. It's mostly linear. You're exploring as the cat. The cat's cute. The cat's great. You can jump around as the cat. There's fun stuff you can do.
It's very cat-like.
Get
your robot friend.
But then you get into kind of a hub area that's like kind of a big-ish open city.
Yeah.
And it just became like a series of fetch quests and long conversations that seemed to go nowhere. It was like, talk to this guy, now talk to this guy, now do this with this guy. And it was always super vague what the next step was. Or it was like, talk to Joe. And I'm like, who's Joe? I don't know who Joe is. All these robots look exactly the same. There's like 35 doors I can go into. Do I just have to go door to door with Joe? And meanwhile, like, I just got to this place. I don't have my bearings. I don't know where I'm going. And it was like 3 days straight, I came back to this game. And I was like, tonight's the night. I'm going to get past this. And I just got beaten down of like, I don't know what to do. I'm not motivated to do this. This isn't fun. Forget it. Goodbye.
Oh, no.
The other thing I need to tell you in particular, this was your cozy game of the year.
Yeah.
I don't think a game where you get your face sucked off by a head crab as a cute little cat counts as cozy.
But it can sleep in the little room.
I don't care. This game, there are some sequences that are harrowing where you're getting chased by these like parasite things.
But it's cozy.
And you can die.
You can't die.
I think being able to die in a game should disqualify it from being cozy.
You can't die.
You can't. I died.
You just get a little fainty.
No. The screen turned all red. I took a screenshot of this. I'll show it to you. I died. My poor cat got its face sucked off.
I don't think your cat's dead.
I beg to differ.
The cat is going to be fine.
It's not. It's really not.
I can't believe this. I'm really disappointed.
I was liking the first couple hours. Like, okay, this is fun. I don't know if this is like game of the year fun, but I was enjoying it. And then I got to that hub and it all...
Nobody had this problem.
It all fell apart. It all fell apart.
Wow. I'm so surprised to hear it.
No.
I don't recall having that sense at all where like...
All right.
I felt trapped or...
Guess you just like going door to door. You can sell some steak knives on your spare time.
I don't remember. Mary Kay makeup consultant. I don't remember this at all.
Okay.
I can't believe it.
I actually did. So they do have...
I can't believe it.
These built-in PlayStation hints.
Yeah.
Which I've actually never used the system before. It was cool. Like, it'll give you a hint and you can watch a little video of like, I would do this, do that. Even those could not... Eventually, those just became talk to Joe. I was like, I don't know who Joe is. I don't know where he is. I don't want to talk to 30 robot people who all look the same. I'm out.
So you're definitely out.
Yeah, maybe you can play this game for me and get me past that.
No.
But I was like, this is not fun. These fetch quests, these not fun. Which leads me to my next game, Sports Story.
Uh-oh.
What a disappointment this was.
Oh, no.
I kind of hit a bad string of games.
You were kind of...
around the second half.
I think you were in a bad mood.
I was in a great mood. It was like the post-Christmas glow.
You were in a bad mood after Stray because you got stuck, and then you went to play Sports Story, and you also...
Have you played Sports Story?
I have.
And?
Kind of like it.
Okay, great. How far? Where are you now?
I am in the first golfing area, and I'm trying to get past the thugs.
Yeah, this is where I fell off of this too.
Well, I didn't fall off.
Well, this is
this is where I stopped.
Endless. A game called Sports Story. I should have played more than about 5 minutes of sports in the first 4 hours of the game.
That I will give you, because in Golf Story you do it's more of going from different golf course to different golf course with your trainer. And there's definitely an RPG element to it, but it's more of the golfing part of it. So I do wish that there was more of that.
Yeah.
But I don't really mind the exploration, the world that they've built.
The fetch quests? You like fetch quests, I think, is the conclusion here.
Well, how is it a fetch quest?
It's like, get me the axe. Oh, get me the... Make orange juice. That was annoying, okay? Early on, that was...
To get that little token to make the orange
I had to get 5 things to make a glass of orange juice for this guy to trigger some objective.
It's a tutorial.
I wasn't learning anything.
You had to learn how to use the different balls.
And then they're like, okay, now play this volleyball, which we're not going to explain to you at all. Now you just figure it out.
But it's only 3 buttons.
It's like, what?
But that's a sport.
No, that's a sport that I played for 30 seconds and then moved on. And then
you can play soccer with pine cones.
I did 19 more fetch quests.
No, you got your little license. You checked into the nice hotel.
No, I mean there's rumors that this had a troubled development, and I can actually see that because there's some parts about this game that are really high. The writing is really good.
Yeah,
I like the music a lot. I think it looks great.
It looks beautiful.
I think the graphics are really nice. People have been talking about some technical shit. I don't know. I didn't see that at all.
Yeah.
But
not yet.
Just the structure of the game is strange to me, and not very fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep playing. It's early days for me, but I didn't have the sense where I'm like, this isn't fun. I still have a sense where I'm interested in this. You know? I want to see where this goes.
All right.
The first game, Golf Story was so good, and even when I was playing Golf Story, I was hoping for more of that exploration part of it.
To be fair and transparent, I didn't love the original Golf Story either. So maybe this
is just not. Maybe it's not.
The output of this studio is just not for me.
Not for you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I did question myself of am I just in a hater mood right now? And hey, hold on. I went online to see what people were saying about this game, and they were saying everything I was saying. So I felt slightly vindicated by that. Of it's not just me. I'm not just being a hater.
Maybe you're just in a bad mood from your 8-week cold.
That doesn't put you in a great mood, but no, it's not that.
Okay.
You played after that, game. I went to a different golf game.
Maybe you just should have played golf.
There's a lot of I don't know what would you call alternative golf games on the Switch? A lot.
Really?
Yes. So this game is Cursed to Golf, which I played because Rogers Base put out his top 10 list.
And that was on there?
It was number 4.
Okay.
And I was I don't think I'd heard of that game.
I've never heard of this game.
I gotta check this out.
I hate it.
No. This is again kind of it's 2D golf, but the idea is you get pulled into purgatory and you have to you're cursed. And you have to break the curse to get out and become get back to real life.
Okay.
So there's all sorts of traps and gimmicks, and you can use cards to activate special powers for your golf ball, and the courses are not just point A to point B. It's like a Mario level. It snakes around. It goes all over the place.
Okay.
And there's teleporters and all sorts of things. This game is fun, but this game is very hard. Oh. This game is tough. And it has some roguelite aspects where you fail and then you come back and you might be a little bit stronger.
Okay.
I'm pretty early on in this.
Golf.
I don't think I'm going to finish this game because it's hard, but I am enjoying it. And the music in this game is super good.
Oh, really?
It's
a bop.
It sounds very Shovel Knight-y to me.
Oh.
It's really good.
That's good.
Yeah. You should just check out the soundtrack.
I don't know how much golf I can play in video games. I never played real golf, but I really do like video game golf a lot. So I'm into it. All right. Yeah.
Anything else for you?
No.
No. Why'd you say it like that?
I don't know.
All right. On to the news?
News.
Yeah?
Yes, news.
All right, got a couple things here. Switch Pro is canceled.
Oh, okay.
Says Digital Foundry. They, I guess, had some insidery stuff. People telling them that, the Switch Pro was maybe going to be released at one point, and Nintendo has since canceled it and is focused on just the next generation of hardware overall. And I guess they have spoken to some developers who have confirmed this plan.
Okay.
And this seemed to be, people seemed to
accept this,
believe this, close the door on the Switch Pro. Thank goodness. And yeah, it's all like Switch 2 was trending that day.
Yeah.
Maybe we can all just agree
to stop talking about this
in the future that every potential configuration of hardware is being considered / prototyped, but it's obviously not all going to release.
Exactly, because it's not going to work.
So if there's a rumor the Switch, they're working on a smaller version of the Switch or a more powerful. It's like, yeah, they're probably working on this and 19 other things.
Yeah.
It's like these hardware teams don't just take a 5-year vacation when they ship a hardware.
Like gone fishing or something like
they're
that.
always tinkering, fiddling around.
I'm sure they're trying, and they're probably like testing new technology and new form factors and stuff like that. Of course, and obviously that experimentation will sometimes make it out to the public, but yeah, may not be a confirmation of things being released. But I am glad to see sort of the hopefully conclusion to the Switch Pro nonsense. Everyone, please.
I always thought, the Switch Pro was interesting mostly because, for people who were interested in it, it's something they wanted.
Right.
So they kind of were wanting to speak it into existence.
Yes.
I always thought a more plausible direction would have been a step down to people who are really price sensitive.
Well, they did.
Beyond
Switch Lite.
Beyond the Switch Lite even.
Because you like the 2DS.
I don't like the 2DS.
No,
but
you were like, this is going to be a huge hit, but then it ended up being not.
Well, there's a lot of people who are like, I'm not going to buy it because it's X dollars.
It's not that expensive.
For you?
To the other consoles.
How much is a gallon of milk? You don't have a clue. This is like when they tell a billionaire, how much is this? And they're
don't drink milk.
Well, the milk costs exactly $79 per gallon.
Wait, what? I don't drink milk. So
you don't know.
I don't know.
You're out of touch.
I don't know how much a gallon of milk. I don't drink milk.
You just got exposed.
And I don't drink milk by the gallon.
You just got exposed. You're not with the people like I am, okay?
I am too.
You literally live in an ivory tower, all right? You just shipped a pallet of chocolate macadamia nuts back from Hawaii with you.
I did.
You're not with the people.
I know how much macadamia
so you need
nuts
to, you need to back out of this. Macadamia nuts. How much is a pallet of macadamias? Apparently that's the only thing you know.
No.
Yes, Switch Pro, I'm glad to move on from this.
Yeah, let's move on from Switch Pro.
Sakurai.
Yes.
It seems is, quote, semi-retired. I don't know what the semi is for.
Yeah.
But I guess he did an interview that got translated. Push Dustin on Twitter did a translation. I'll just read it. Sakurai confirms that he is semi-retired. He is 52 after all. When Smash for 3DS/Wii U and Ultimate, he spent 9 years in active development.
Oof.
Sakurai felt that he is just continuously making games full-time. His life will be over before he realizes it.
Good for him.
I think this is great.
Yeah, I think that's why he potentially started the YouTube channel, so he can be more, have a creative outlet, but be more, relaxed.
Yeah.
And not have to grind out these games. I think, he deserves.
Does he ever develop a game again? Is my question to you.
Maybe a consultant, but not like at the level that he used to. My question to you, though, is can he help himself?
That's the thing. So, we know some people who are, retired, but not, actually retired. They're still busy doing stuff.
Yeah.
And
like Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie's retirement is different than a lot of people's retirement.
Exactly.
Because he is extremely busy still.
He has a lot of stuff
Yeah,
going on. But the thing with him, and I think is maybe similar with Sakurai, is he's doing stuff that he wants to do.
It's on his terms.
Yeah.
It's stuff he is passionate about.
Pick and choose what he wants to do.
And he is truly in charge of that.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's what Sakurai is striving for.
Right.
Right? And I don't blame him at all. I think it's great.
I could see him getting back into development, but having some, maybe on more of an indie scope, something where it's I'm only gonna dedicate a year to this.
Right.
I'm going
to consult on this project, or this is something that I personally...
I'm in and out on this thing.
Yeah. Or he does the Reggie, which is like he personally picks and chooses projects that he wants to work on.
Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be so black and white. Like,
right.
I'm never doing this again. Like,
right.
He's just going to choose what he wants to do and what he doesn't.
Yeah, but that's good that he had this like epiphany after working for so long of like this.
That's what happened to Reggie too.
This kind of stinks, and
he was like the same thing. Yeah. He's like, I don't want to just have my life just go by. I was so inspired by that.
Yeah.
And I think that's so cool that Sakurai also has come to this realization, and has like kind of put it out there. Because I think a lot of times people expect like someone to just work to death, like work to the bone until like, they're in the grave, basically, which is...
Well, he almost did that.
Morbid. Exactly. Yeah. So... It's like good to normalize like this kind of thought around your job, you know? And even a job that you might really love. Like, I think Sakurai probably really loved being a game developer, and Reggie really loved his job. Yeah. But, like, regardless, it's still work, and you don't want that to just be sort of all-consuming. You just don't live the rest of your life at all. So I think that's
So when Nintendo calls and says, we need the next Smash for Switch 2.
He's going to be
what
Peace!
What happens then?
I don't know. I don't think he's.
What if he says you can make it, or we can get somebody else to make it?
I don't think he goes for it. Honestly.
Interesting. I don't know.
How much of that IP does he own? Can he just tell Nintendo?
None of it. I don't think he owns any of it.
He tell Nintendo like, Action won't let you make this. So.
I don't think he can do that.
Can he try?
No, I don't think he can.
Well.
I mean, he probably has a big say over it. They would definitely listen to him.
I think they would listen to him.
But
maybe he handpicks the person.
They might reach that point of like, we need this.
Maybe he handpicks the person that does it from now on.
Yeah.
He gets to pick the successor in a way.
Yeah. Good for him is the conclusion.
I honestly don't think he wants to make another Smash game. I honestly don't think he wants to. I mean, I wouldn't want to either.
Yeah.
It seems awful. It's exhausting. And I think he realizes that if he does it again, he literally might die, like doing it. So I don't think he wants to do that. Anyhow.
I hope to die on this here podcast one day.
Oh, all right. Yeah. That's good.
Maybe sooner than later if this sickness continues.
Pile of ashes here instead of you one
day. Questions.
Okay.
Questions
all right.
from our Patreon community. As we mentioned, we do a bonus Q&A every week, exclusive to Patreon, with questions you will not hear anywhere else. That's where the spicy stuff goes.
That's right.
But this week, first question is from Cerulean Bodie. Great name. Hey, Kit Claus and Krysta Claus.
A little past that, but okay.
I was wondering if you had any insight. Well, this question was submitted on December 14th.
Oh, we have a lot of questions.
People didn't like your thing of like, I got to take this Christmas tree down. We really got schooled on the 12 days of Christmas.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought it was 12 days leading up to
You have
Christmas.
a lot of apologizing to do in this episode. Start the new year right by apologizing to all of us, mostly me.
No, I'm not going to.
Do it.
I never will. So wait, the 12 days of Christmas starts on Christmas Day and then goes 12 days? I thought it was 12 days leading up to Christmas.
I'll be honest, that's not something I'm super familiar with either.
We need to look into this
Maybe for next year.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you had any insight into how the ESRB grades games. For example, Pokemon has always been rated E, and I thought that was why in battle they were hesitant to ever show Pokemon making physical contact with one another, since that would be more violent somehow. They've also been touchy about death, and it's kind of inferred by context, such as it being in a graveyard, without saying the word die or a variation of it. However, in Legends Arceus, your character can be thrown off a cliff by a rampaging Garchomp, and another straight up asks you not to die. This trend continues in Scarlet and Violet, where there are some storylines that hit these themes far more directly than I'm used to seeing in the franchise. Since this is the case, how are these games still rated E? Is the ESRB biased? Do game publishers have influence over what ratings the ESRB gives their games? How do we live in a world where Kirby and Mario got bumped to E10 before Pokemon? I get that it's not a huge jump in rating or anything. I'm just really curious. Good question.
Good question. Yeah, the ESRB definitely is ruling over the industry. You are terrified of
with an iron fist.
You are terrified of even saying the word mimosa in a video.
Not because of the ESRB.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. We're on a tangent already. Mimosa.
That's another apology you have to make.
No, I won't. You know what? I actually agree with Cerulean Bodhi on this question, because I continue to be shocked by how the ESRB seems to have changed the rating system in the last couple of years. Like before, when we worked at Nintendo, we would have a lot of like discussion about what a game is rated and how we can show that game in our marketing. Like there's games like Bayonetta, for example. Like there's only approved, like safe for all audiences type of footage or images that we could use. There was a very famous Palutena image where you could see some of her things.
Really?
Yes, that we had to remove from a ad.
Okay.
There's a lot of like rules around how blood can be shown. When we were doing Nintendo Minute, we weren't even allowed to say the word die or death.
That was not because of the ESRB.
It's kind of because of the ESRB though. So that was like very restrictive. But now you got like swearing whatever in Xenoblade,
back
which
to
is
Xenoblade, yeah.
rated T somehow. And yeah, like what he's pointing out about sort of more violence, quote unquote violence in Pokemon games. It's pretty interesting that they've it feels to me like they have loosened up the restrictions.
Yeah. Well, you know, the E10 rating is newish still. They didn't have that always, so it was either E or T, and there was a pretty clear distinction between those. Now, they have their guidelines and they have their descriptors, which define what makes what, but ultimately, it's just rated by people who can interpret things differently. And you have to submit all of the material in the game to get your rating. And if you don't do that accurately, you're going to be paying a huge fine.
Yeah, that fine is so scary.
That's just why people are afraid, justifiably.
Yeah.
And I do remember there were times where it was like, we're putting in the submission, we hope we get this, but we don't know.
We might get something else.
And it might not be great if we get the other thing.
Yeah. And there was like a lot of discussion for Nintendo Directs where it's like, oh, we don't know what the rating is yet. So we need to be real careful with what footage we put into this video because it could push the rating one way or the other.
Another thing that we were never exposed to, I have to imagine there's some amount of back and forth.
Oh, absolutely.
Of like, hey, do us a solid.
Yeah,
or
let me slip a 20 under the table
something,
so you can rate
something like that.
This dirty game T.
Right. Especially with a company like Nintendo. It's like we're holding up like the family-friendly image of this whole industry.
Yeah. We're not like
give us a break
in
here.
Congress
with Kirby's Mimosa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we should have been given more leeway and said we were scared straight by the ESRB.
Yeah. So I think that's my conclusion. Is just like, you know, it's just people. People can interpret things differently, and that's how you can end up with some weird discrepancies.
But I do think there was some discussion recently about like what are the actual guardrails because they seem to have loosened significantly from before when we used to be dealing with the ESRB stuff.
It's a conspiracy. Cozy Tar is next. Hey, Kit and Krysta, I would love to hear if you guys have any fun stories or memories around celebrating New Year's with Nintendo. Did you guys have work celebrations? Were you ever sent any gifts for the new year? Or was the language closer to let's get excited for Q1?
Well, Nintendo does have a really great holiday schedule where they shut down the office between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
So we would always get a big chunk of time off. And it truly felt like it was just sort of an all-company holiday where you just don't get
worldwide.
Worldwide, exactly, like global. We wouldn't get like any emails, so it just totally felt like you could disconnect. And I always appreciated that because it was like it truly felt like we're all collectively going to take this break and come back refreshed for the next year. And New Year's is a pretty big deal in Japan, so they do have a lot of like, you know, New Year's stuff that they do on their side, but we didn't really have any like all company things because the company was.
No, we weren't there.
Yeah.
So it was not really something that we celebrated together. You and I were also proponents of taking the first week after New Year's off to like extend that break.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
Because it's like, well, people are easing back into it, and a lot of people did that too. So it was like a good time to do it.
I would always do like a giant vacation during that time because that was the only time where you would get like almost 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
So you could do like a bigger trip, a longer trip. So that was always like a fun thing that you can look forward to. And a lot of people at the company did that. Took a long,
there were times though where for some teams, like they would have to to work on something, like if there's
eShop.
a Nintendo Direct. Oh, when the eShop broke.
eShop breaks.
There's a Nintendo Direct like in January.
Yeah.
Like the schedule means we have to work on this. I always felt really bad
so
for those people then,
unfortunate.
because it's like, well, everybody else is taking it easy and like
You're
you just
doing
have to
this
work.
Direct, yeah.
And you just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. They didn't do too many of those, fortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frulio. Next, why does the Animal Crossing Twitter account continue to make posts about New Horizons even though there is no more new content for the game?
Yeah, you were just saying, like, there seems to be a little refresh of Animal Crossing stuff around New Year, since that is a celebration that happens in the game. I do think that whole thing about starting the Animal Crossing accounts was very strange. Maybe that's a story for another time. But there's like all these random like Animal Crossing only social media accounts that sort of had some strangeness around how they launched. And also some awkwardness about how to support it, because the game it's not like a game that continues forever. Like, they're not supporting the game forever.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately it's sort of seen inside Nintendo as a game that you can play forever, even if there's no new content. It's sort of like a mirror of your real life. So it's sort of like you can just keep playing this game for like 10 minutes a day for the rest of your life. Like, I think that's actually the hope.
Yeah. And they know how many people are still playing this game, and it's probably more than we think.
Right.
So, and it's super easy to just do these posts of like, oh, we're getting ready to celebrate this or that. And also, when you're managing a social account, the worst thing you can do is just stop posting for long stretches of time.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
Just kind of keeping it warm.
Yeah, that's why I think like the launching of these accounts for individualized games is always like sort of a weird conversation to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maverick Nate is next. Happy holidays, Kit and Krysta. Where is Pokemon Sleep? Do you have any information on what happened with this side game? It's been so long, I can't sleep without knowing more info on this game.
Is Pokemon Sleep like the equivalent of the sensor?
Vitality sensor?
The Vitality sensor?
I remember like Nintendo had that whole weird thing where it's like, we're exploring these quality of life products.
Exactly, yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I don't know where Pokemon Sleep is. I also maybe wouldn't be super sad if we never heard about it again.
Exactly. This quality of life jag that Nintendo was on, and I guess Pokemon a little bit. They also had the toothbrushing.
That came out. The Pokemon
that
toothbrushing.
Did come out, but I'm saying like they have these weird quality of life, or like these kind of like offshoots things that just seem odd to me. And like also just a big question mark is like, why do you want to spend resources around this?
Yeah.
But there must be like some research that's like, oh, if we hit people at this different angle around fitness or hygiene or whatever, they're most likely to remember our brand. I don't know. I feel like maybe that is the conversation around coming up with this kind of stuff. But yeah, I do not know where Pokemon Sleep is, and kind of wasn't thinking about it at all.
Yeah. All right, Mikey has a question for you that I'm just going to read it, and I'm going to let you cook.
Oh.
After watching the last Kit and Krysta 64 episode, I was reminded how much I loved the original Rhythm Heaven on the DS and how unique every minigame was. Love Lab was definitely one of my favorites, so was Rhythm Rally and Bluebirds. Do either of you have personal favorites? Which game is your favorite entry in the series? I need to know.
Ooh, I know. I was reminded about how much I loved Rhythm Heaven picking songs from Rhythm Heaven for our Guess That Song video. And now I have like all these YouTube recommendations for all of the Rhythm Heaven music, which is really funny. Yeah, Love Lab is definitely, obviously, one of my favorite ones. I also like the Scratch Academy, or like the DJs with the scratching. My favorite is definitely Rhythm Heaven DS, I think, as well. And for the launch of Rhythm Heaven DS, we actually went to a real life like place where you can learn how to do like record scratch stuff from like real DJs in New York City. And it was inspired by that mini game. I can't remember the exact name of it, but I thought that was such a cool like event that we did with that like mini game in Rhythm Heaven. And then the other thing that I really like is the choir boys. Do you remember that one? You. Do you want to tell the story or do you want me to tell it?
You can tell it.
Okay. So this is
Because I don't like it.
You don't like it.
No.
But I really liked it. This is actually my first, like, work impression of you because you had just started at the company, like, maybe that week.
Because this game came out in, like, March of 2009.
Oh, so it was a little bit longer.
But we were getting ready for it to come out.
I was working on the campaign for it.
Yes.
You had started the company in January.
Late January.
So it was only like...
Still very new.
Very new.
Yeah.
Like no one really knew you that well. Right. And we were doing this thing where we were going to deliver the game to some of the media's homes and offices. Mm-hmm. And have like this fun delivery where we had an actual like, you know, like actually 3 singers. Like
in tuxedos?
In tuxedo. Or they had one tuxedo, like that was the conductor, and the 3 like little singer choir boys to sing the little song when we delivered the game to them. And we were testing out like what that would look like, so we made you stand in as one of the little choir boys.
I did not go on these trips though. This was just during some rehearsal.
It was a rehearsal. Yeah, you did not appreciate that.
I almost put in my pink slip that day.
You seemed so uncomfortable.
Get me out of here.
You did not like that at all. But it was really funny.
Good for you.
And I really liked it.
All right.
Oh! Still salty?
I don't like it. I don't want to do it.
Okay.
Race Car has the next question. Hi, Kit and Krysta. Without going into detail or dredging up bad memories, well, we can do that maybe. Do you have any advice for dealing with office drama? I've worked in an office for 5 years, and I still occasionally have issues with interpersonal relationships in a professional environment.
It's not great, people. Yeah, there is definitely office drama. Well, I don't know. What do you want to say about this?
I would just say, like, be savvy about, like, who you invest more than, like, the bare minimum business conversation with.
Interesting.
And, like, sharing, like, actual parts of your life.
Yeah.
Like, I would not say that that's for everyone information, you know?
Yeah. Not everybody in the office needs to be, like, your best friend in real life. Like, you can have a professional, polite, good, you know, office relationship with people without opening yourself up in a way where it might kind of come back to
be careful
to not be great.
About who you trust with what information.
Yes,
and be really confident about, you know, those kind of relationships before you do start sharing things.
And I think you also, just like in real life with people and friends outside of the office, you don't know what someone else might be going through.
Yeah.
They might be going through some sort of professional, you know, one more concrete example I can give is around promotion time at Nintendo was always very emotionally just tough for people because obviously there's going to be some people that get a promotion.
Not for me.
And some people that don't, not for
Wink.
you. You're the boss, so you don't care. You're like, you don't get one, you get one, shut up and go away. But yeah, there's going to be some people that probably have been disappointed because they didn't get a promotion that year.
Yeah.
Some people that are super excited because they did, right? And you don't know like what struggles people are going through in their professional careers. So I think like be sensitive around those kinds of times in an office and just be like extra cautious about like what you say and how you choose your words because you might be like accidentally like, you know, hitting on a sore subject for somebody or, you know, you don't know what's going on with them. So you might not be saying something that they want to hear in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Promotion time was very dramatic at Nintendo and there was a lot of tears. People, it wasn't good. So it really was.
No.
It was not a good environment. That's Nintendo's fault, actually, for building a bad environment around promotions to really put people in like a pressure cooker situation. But again, you can't control like, you know, what a corporation's doing, but you can control your own, what you're going to be, how you're going to be interacting with people. So
spend the bare minimum time out of like shared spaces in the office, like the lunchroom.
Well, okay,
just don't go there.
You are a recluse. Maybe some people don't want to be a recluse.
That's where you end up cornered into these conversations where people pry into your life about things you don't want to talk about. Just stay out of those places. It's like if you're gonna get a coffee, get out. Do not linger in there.
Go with somebody
because people hang out there because they're bored and they want to bend your ear about something. And gossip exists to entertain bored people. It's
definitely
entertainment
gossip, though.
for bored people. Okay? So you just need to stay away.
Okay.
You. That's in conclusion.
But everybody likes to gossip,
What?
though. So you can't be like all high and mighty about it. Like, oh, I never participated
Well, don't
in
get
this.
suckered into like sharing some detail that you don't want.
I didn't get suckered in. People just tell me stuff.
Well, that's different.
It's not my fault.
People would go to you with all sorts of things.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I wasn't like
you were not like twisting it out of them.
No, people just come into my office and just like unload like all their secrets.
Easy to talk to. It's what a flattering thing.
I am not a good secret keeper, people. You shouldn't tell me. I'm going to tell somebody.
Now you tell them.
Well, I tell you. You knew everything. Look how happy.
Well, that's where it stopped, because I'm not talking to anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I always told you, because I trusted you. You didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, and I didn't. I'm like you.
Gossip.
You're not trustworthy at all.
I am trustworthy because I just tell you. So if you tell me something, I'm just going to tell you. Like,
all right.
Remember when you told me this? Remember?
Stay out of that break room. Riven is next. Do you think Tears of the Kingdom will be structured like Breath of the Wild or go back to a more classic formula? Examples. Breath of the Wild is extremely non-linear compared to other games and lacks big, meaty dungeons. This is a big question I have about this game, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's going to stay like Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to want to upend the formula here because Breath of the Wild was so successful.
Uh-huh.
And you know, we already talked a lot about like maybe that kind of destroyed the element of surprise, like the same sort of feeling you had when you played Breath of the Wild for the first time because it was so like convention breaking. But I don't think they want to break away from the convention that they set for Breath of the Wild for Tears of the Kingdom, if that makes sense. So I think we'll get a very similar thing where it's exploration based, it's kind of at your own pace. Instead of bigger dungeons, it's more like smaller puzzles. It might not be shrines. It might be something else.
Oh, shrines.
But
They gotta have shrines. That was such a big... God, I mean, that's my hope, is that it's similar to the first game.
Yeah.
The shrines were so good and so fun. And even the Divine Beast... I know a lot of people didn't like the Divine Beast.
I love those.
That's as far as I want to take Zelda dungeons.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But at the same time, there were a lot of people who wanted the dungeons. And I wonder if the dev team's looking at that feedback of like, we can do it. We can do it all.
That could be the new thing that they do.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like one final big dungeon before you get to the end. Or something like that. Because I feel like in Breath of the Wild, when you finally go and defeat like Calamity Ganon or whatever.
Spoiler.
Yes, spoiler for a game that's how many years old at this point? I'm sorry. When you finally go and do that, it did not feel like a traditional like boss thing.
Yeah.
It was sort of like, oh, that's it? Okay. I was
Great.
like OP'd for this, you know, or a little bit at that point. So yeah, maybe that's like the compromise. But I do think it's gonna stay in the more like in the conventions that was set with Breath of the Wild. I think.
Pikmin Sneeze Cause has our last question. Hi, Kit and Krysta. I would like to ask, it's another Animal Crossing question. I would like to ask, how did Nintendo feel about time traveling in Animal Crossing? Was it banned to demonstrate that? I do remember back on New Leaf when Reggie opened his town for visitors, he had an exclusive item from the winter season, which had not yet come. Do you know if he time traveled himself to get that item? Thanks and Happy New Year. Reggie is trapped, and only you know the truth. You can save Reggie, or you can drop a dime on him.
He didn't. He was given that item from the Dove team.
Close call for Reggie.
He would never do such a horrible thing as to time travel. Oh, time travel was the most frowned upon thing.
Don't even.
Ever. We were so scared.
Don't even mention it.
We were so terrified to even like have a whisper of time travel on our own systems because we thought for sure that if we time traveled and then we made a video,
they would find out.
We made an Animal Crossing Nintendo Mini video. They would find out and shut us down.
Yeah.
And so like I would tell other people on our team to time travel for me. Like so many people were like my time traveling mules because I needed stuff.
They did make it easier to time travel though.
Yeah.
So it's like which way is it?
They don't like it.
Yeah, but yeah, they hate it.
They hate it a lot.
Capital H hate.
All caps hate.
Yeah.
I still haven't time traveled. I'm still a little scared.
You haven't done it?
No, have you?
I've done it a couple of times when there was like something I was like, I just need to get this, or it's like, who cares? And then
After
I said,
you left Nintendo or before?
And then I said, I don't know, probably during. Who cares? And then I set it back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm doing just fine. Don't live in fear.
This is
That's another conclusion.
Maybe I should time travel just to get myself out of that mentality because I thought
2023 was the year of no fear.
Going
for it.
I really got scared.
And now you're scared about something that happened in 2020.
I was really scared straight by then. It was like jail. I was in like prison camp.
Wow.
For Animal Crossing. Reggie's
delivering this bells to Reggie.
Reggie's New Leaf game. I will say again. I think I did not me personally. Me personally, but also more than just me. We did a lot to get that island, get his game up to snuff.
Uh-huh.
So maybe he should thank me one day.
Me?
No, Reggie.
Oh. What do I have to do with this?
Just kidding. Yes, but Animal Crossing.
And that is all of the questions.
Yes. All right. Superstars.
Yeah.
The shout out starts now.
It begins.
Here we go. Aaron Hash.
Ben Eichhorn.
Maru Mayhem.
Eigenverse.
Jordan Collette.
Kiss My Flapjack.
Mike Jin.
Mr. Rogers.
Rain Tech.
Roy Eschke.
Switching it up. _
Cephazon.
The Shark Among Men.
VGM Life.
Link, the hero of Wins.
Angela Bycroft.
And her pig Molly. Turbocharged Nerd.
And Thomas O'Rourke.
Woohoo! Thank you, superstars.
Yes.
We love you, we love you. All right, are we ready for the One Up Club graduation ceremony?
A lot of new names this month. I hope you are ready.
I'm a little
You
scared.
are not. Okay.
Aaron Burgundy.
Adam and Ansley.
Ajan Malari.
Alejandro.
Alexandra Pratt.
Astrodev.
Dazed and Confused.
No.
Oh, Blazed and Confused.
Oh no. Bookham Dano.
Oh no. Brad, SF56.
Brookie Kazooie.
Bruce Dash.
Chancellor Fairley.
Christopher Lay.
Cozy Tar.
Captain Cinnamon Buns.
Captain Alex.
K Roper 17.
C Roper.
C Roper 17. Oh my gosh.
Daniel Cole.
Daniel Valencia.
Dachshund.
Doodoo Face.
Douglas Chomix.
Dino Punch.
Elite Peach.
S Barts 50.
Ezrato.
Oh, I can just say this.
Oh wow.
Fart Priest 69.
Fairbound.
Fernie and Jess Forever.
Fox Deploy and his dog Bernard.
Fred Rossi.
Full Combro.
Game Hunt 64.
Gar.
Garrett Holfish.
Gordon's son.
Ian Shea.
Israel Izzy.
Jay Rando.
Jabroni Jones.
JK99.
JBJ.
Jeff Yoakum.
Jeffrey Hernandez.
Jerry 92602.
Jesse Hernandez.
John Responte.
Jonathan Rowe.
Jordan Hemmerly.
Joseph DeHaze.
Joshua Clements.
Juji Fruit.
Julius Westenberg.
Just Camtro.
Kai Commercio.
Kawa 2796.
Kelp Shake.
Kevin Delane.
Chrissu.
Christopia Party With Me.
Kyle Gamer Barry Rookie.
Kyle Kretzer.
Kyle LaBeouf.
Kyler Nelson.
Lanelle Stickman.
Lego My Froggo.
Lena.
Levy Yahoo.
Lil Sebastian.
Lit.
Mad Dog 5981.
Marky Man 64.
Matthew Rewald.
Mecha Dragon 101.
Megan.
Michael Cravens.
Michael White.
Mikey.
Mr. Andy Pong.
Murph.
MyTran.
Nasir.
Nathan Burkhart.
Panda Buns.
Polio Network.
Piano Psychopath.
Prime Factor.
Prince Charmless.
Quinn Hardigan.
Reaver.
Ray Chiron.
Ryuji Utsuho Okuu.
Renee Rivers.
Reese Williams.
Ryoth 1.
RJ Kern.
Rob Osborne.
Renana Rex.
Rox.
Rianetta.
Sam Nealon.
Sharif Jackson.
Shinru.
Slowbro.
Schmiggles.
Shrews.
Silly Ferret.
Spicy Munchkin.
Steel Citrone.
Tefew.
Thomas Alvarez.
Travis Torline.
Troopage.
Tugs Puppy Bear.
Tusk Oob.
Tyler Geis.
Video Game Stupid.
Virtual Bot.
Wicked Davy.
Will Ernst.
Will Johnson.
Zudaverf.
Zelgaroth.
And Zroid.
Wow.
I want to know more about Fox Deploy and his dog Bernard.
I really want to know more about Bernard.
I'm curious about this.
I really need to know more about Bernard. Please share in the Discord.
Yeah.
Thank you, new friends. We're excited to have you. Very, very cool to be getting just a huge influx of you in the first couple of days of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, don't forget to subscribe to us on Patreon. We are patreon.com/Kit and Krysta. Help keep all of this going, especially with all of our exciting new things that we want to do in 2023.
That's right.
We need your support more than ever. So please
Yes.
help us.
And if you are watching on video, do us a favor and subscribe to this channel. If you are listening on audio, give us a 5-star rating and leave a review, please.
And don't forget to follow us on our other social media channels. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. All right, this is the first episode of many for 2023.
It was a perfect episode.
And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.